There is a place. Don't let it fade. When your mind goes there, make up your mind it's going to stay there because it is a place. I don't care what the thought is. Doesn't matter what the image is. If your mind can go there, you can physically go there. Let's understand, frequency is a level of vibration. Everything vibrates. It's moving. Now, it appears to be still. It isn't still. It's moving so fast it appears to be still. Every frequency is hooked up to the one above and the one below. There's no line of demarcation. Now, do you want to know what that means? You can go woo, like that onto a higher frequency. But you can also go woo, like that onto a lower frequency. Yet some people do that. But we think on frequencies. So we have to get that right in our mind. There's an energy flowing through our consciousness. We have what's called an inductive reasoning factor. That gives us the ability to you could pick up thoughts. There's actually thoughts floating around. Your thoughts, my thoughts, they're everywhere. Like if I have a thought, it's omnipresent. It's just as present in your mind as it is in mine. You may not be aware of it's there, but so your inductive reasoning factor can choose a thought, or it can take this unadulterated creative power, pure spirit, and it can create a thought. You literally create a thought. And you put that thought with another thought and another, and you got an idea. An idea is nothing but a thought or a collection of thoughts directed towards a purpose. So what we're doing is we're taking this power that's flowing through us and we're using this higher faculty that we've got in creating thoughts. Now, that's the one point that all the great leaders have agreed on. They've disagreed on virtually everything else. We become what we think about. Yep. Listen to the conversations of most people. A high percentage of the population are talking about what they don't want, what they hope doesn't happen. They never realize, and it's going to be obvious they don't realize this, that they are directing this magnificent power that's totally subjective. It has no ability to alter anything. You got the choice. But I'm going to tell you something. There's no shortage of good ideas flowing into your mind. There is no shortage. There's an abundance of them. While you're driving, while you're in the shower, while you're eating dinner, while you're talking to somebody, you take mental breaks. Everyone has these ideas. You have them flying on your mind, don't you? But we discard them as fast as they come. Why would we do that? Why wouldn't we keep them there and focus on them? Say, I can do that. I can do that. Why? Because we're ignorant. That's why. If you're observant, you're going to see outer reality shaping itself upon the model of your imagination. Now, this is all our imagination at work. Imagination isn't something just kids play with until they get a little older. Imagination, he'll sit, is the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world has ever known. You have one. It's one of your higher faculties. That was that sacred gift. Now, what I want to suggest you do is really let yourself relax and start to dream. But as you're doing it, also become aware of how your paradigm is going to fight you. This is where I am. I know how I got here. This is where I want to go. This is a place. If it's a place, don't let it die. Hold it. If it dies, bring it right back. Understand, it's a frequency.
Well, hello and welcome to day 4 of our Elevate series. I want to welcome you on here, and if you've been tuning in on the replays, good to have you join us here. Today we are taking another step into this whole realm of understanding who we really are. I hope up to this point, if you've been following along with the series, that you're starting to believe more in yourself. I've brought different information in from all different kinds of places to really give you a holistic view of what you're capable of, how your mind operates, and the mental gifts that you truly have within to make anything happen in your life. The purpose of this is to give you the confidence and the belief in yourself that whatever you can see in here, you can create out here, right? It's as simple as thoughts become things. You and I become what we think about. And so it's crucial to begin taking count and analyzing what you are predominantly focusing on, what you are predominantly thinking of. This is so incredibly important. You know, a question to ask yourself is, do I believe that to some degree, my thoughts play a role in the creation of my life? Now, I've asked that question to probably hundreds of people, and every single one of them has said, yeah, to some degree, I believe that my thoughts play a role in the creation of my life. And so then I take it one step further and I ask them, so when you woke up this morning, did you sit down and consciously create your day? And I tell you, very few people say yes to that question. We believe innately that our thoughts are what is a driving force to the creation of our physical experience. But yet when it comes time to actually utilizing this, very few people actually do. And I think it lies and it stems from our conditioning, from the belief in our mind in outside conditions and circumstances. You see, we live and are conditioned to live from the outside in. We let our present results control the way we think. We become victim to our circumstances. We become victims to our history, right? Rather than creators of a beautiful vision for our life and having the faith based on understanding that you can actually create that. You've been creating from the moment you were born. The law of attraction is not something that you can flip on and flip off. You can't, it's just like any other law. The law of gravity is not something you turn off and on. And the law of attraction is exactly the same way. You cannot turn this off. All you can do is get in harmony with it and live in harmony with the laws. And that's what all of this is about, is giving you the tools to be able to live in harmony with the laws. And when you do, your life just keeps getting better and better and expanding more. You become in harmony with the purpose of our universe, which is further expression, further expansion. Setting goals that are in harmony with expansion for all who are involved. All right, remember, you're not here to get anything. You're here to let things happen. You're here to let life move to and through you. And the more you really understand that, you got to keep studying this. You have to keep bringing this material into your mind so that you fully believe in this. And when that happens, you start taking action. You start actually utilizing this in your life and start creating change. And it starts turning into like an active role of you co-creating with the universe, as opposed to sitting back and just letting life wash over you and believing that life is something that happens to you. We've got it wrong. Life doesn't happen to you. Life's happening through you. It's happening from you. You are the source. And what we're going to go into today is going to really hopefully bring a new awareness for you on the tools that you have to actually create what it is that you want, or bring into existence the things that you desire. So I want you to start to dream. And like Bob said in that video that I just finished playing, totally relax right now. Wherever you are, just totally and completely relax. You see, when we're all tense, and we get tense in our mind, we've got chaos in our mind, we end up getting chaotic results. Just look at people around you and how they operate in their life. Just look at your own life. You can tell if someone is living with a chaotic mind. because they'll jump over here and then they'll jump over there and they'll start a project here and then they'll quit and then they'll jump over there, start another one. And their life is in chaos because their mind is in chaos. There's no order brought to your mind. You see, it's been said that order is heaven's first law. And so the secret to success, the secret to progress, the secret to elevating your life is to bring a greater degree of order to your mind. What is it that you really want? Where is your attention going? Are you building the images of the things that you desire? Or is it kind of a mishmash of, I would like this, but I can't have this, and I don't want this? You know, it's so full of all these things. You've got to bring some attention to it, some focus to what it is that you really want in your life. And that's when things begin to change. Now, I know that you want more. I know you do, because you are a spiritual being. You've got 3 planes of existence. You're a spiritual being, you have an intellect, and you live in the physical body. Now, spirit is always for fuller expression and expansion, and that's why you want more. It is not a bad thing to want more. We've been taught to be, to just be happy with what you have. And you should be grateful for what you have, but you should never settle. Settling is a bad game that you play with yourself. And no one wins in that situation. Nobody wins. You suppress yourself, yourself. You've got to allow spirit to move to and through you. You have wants for a reason. You have those wants because you have the ability to accomplish them, to bring more of spirit to form, or if you choose to call heaven to earth. That's what we're here to do. We're here to create, to bring more of our ideas and our dreams to life. And you bring it to life through the use of your intellect, through the use of your mind, the greatest power that you have, and you have it free and clear. You didn't even have to pay for it. You've got this marvelous tool. It's funny, some of the most, the things that we value the most in life are the things that come and go. And the things that are actually worth the most, like our marvelous mind, we seem to value the least. You have a mind that you received, and you've got mental faculties that were a gift that you have. And the problem is that no one ever taught us how to use them. No one ever taught us that you are the creator of your life, and that the outside conditions and circumstances have nothing to do with how you move forward. Your past has nothing to do with how you move forward in your life. So I want you to make a decision right now to let all that go. It's like we said on the very first day, you've got to let go of what's no longer serving you if you want to rise and elevate in your life. That's the first step. Let go and forget everything that you know. Just let it go. Just keep telling yourself, I let that go. I'm letting it go. And mentally, you're creating space for beautiful things, but you got to begin to visualize it. You've got to begin to see it in your mind. And that's what we're going to dive into today. And it all starts with fantasy. You see, Dennis Waitley said, knowledge is where we've been, and imagination is where we've yet to go. But yet we're so programmed to gather more knowledge. And while that's a great thing for sure, it's just recreating, regurgitating. And we've got to ask ourselves, do I want to be a creator, or do I want to be a regurgitator? Because if you keep thinking the same things, you're going to keep creating the same things. And as you step into fantasy, as you step into that first stage of the creative process, like we went into, that's where you step into the unknown. That's where you step into your true creative power. And you start to realize that everything that you love, have, and enjoy, or that you will have, love, and enjoy, comes to you through you. You are the source. you. Now, most people are extras in their own movies. They truly are. They are extras in their own movie. They see other people as the stars, and they see themselves as just supporting characters. And they think they can do it, but I can't. I look back to when I first started in all of this information, and I really didn't believe in myself. And I honestly thought that other people just had some special gift in life, that they were different than me. But the more I started to study this information, I started to study myself. I started to realize that there's literally nothing different about us. The only thing that is different is our results and our awareness. But we're all cut from the same cloth. We truly are all the same. It's how we utilize this great power, though, that flows to and through us that makes all the difference. And so you've got to say, you know what? I'm ready to step into my role, to my authentic role. I'm ready to be the star of my movie. You can be an Academy Award-winning star of your movie. It all starts with asking, what do you really want? Like, let everything go for now and just ask, what do I really want? If I could be, do, and have anything, what would I go after? What would I do? I mean, this is your life that you're working with. And when I work with people in our mentorship programs, I take that very seriously because I know that I'm working with your life. And I want to make sure that you take it very seriously because you're working with your life. And as far as we know, we only get one bite at the apple. We only get one shot. You want to make the most of it. And life is truly short at best. And I think most of us spend our lives living somebody else's life, or at least trying to live somebody else's life. You got to realize that you can be first at being number one, number one being you. But we try to be second at being somebody else. You can't do that. Nobody is like you. Now, you're no better than anybody else or less than anybody else. We're all equal. Bring yourself on an equal playing field with every other human being. And begin to ask yourself, what do I really want? Now, here's the image of our mind. And we've got our conscious mind, subconscious, and body. That's what we call the stick person. Now, when you see this stick person, I want you to think of yourself. I want you to associate this image with you. And when you think of yourself, think of this stick person. When I work with somebody, I see them as mind and body. And you can tell exactly what's going on in the mind by what's going on in their results. And I've gotten very good at being able to tell what's going on in the mind and helping people to shift the mindset and shift their perspective because I just looked at what's going on in the results. You can help so many people with this. You can help yourself with this image alone. This is a game changer. Now, you've got sensory factors on the top of your conscious mind that you've been conditioned to operate within your world, right? See, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And most of us get involved in outside thinking, this outside in thinking. This is where we let our physical senses guide us through life. We see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And what happens is that causes our behavior or action, and we unconsciously recreate our current or similar circumstances. This is where we get into that regurgitation of things. We're just rearranging, but we're never actually creating anything new, right? And so what we want to do is we want to shift over to this other side where we begin inside out thinking. We begin tuning into our mental faculties. We briefly touched on them the other day. This is perception, memory, intuition, your will, imagination, and reason. You've got phenomenal mental tools that are used to create your life. where the sensory factors are used to enjoy what you create. But if you want to elevate, if you want to move beyond where you're currently at, you must begin to think from the inside out. What do I really want? What do I want to bring forward? And as you do that, that now causes your behavior or action, and you begin consciously creating the results that you want. This takes a paradigm shift here. It takes a shift in our belief systems and our ways of operating in life. Now, you've got to really want this. You've got to say, I'm ready to live from the inside out. I'm ready to stop letting my present results control the way I think. Because you disempower yourself when you do that. You're giving power to something or someone else outside of you. And you can never really live a true, authentic, purposeful life if you continue to do that. You are unique, and that takes a unique perspective on what it is that you want to create. That is creative living. Now here's your mind and the body. And we break this up into two parts, and we say, you've got your conscious mind, which is your thinking mind. It's your educated mind. It's where you pile up all the books and the information, right? And we've been so conditioned to think that if we know it, we're going to do it. And that's just simply not true. We've got people coming out of school with degrees coming off the end of their business card, and they can't find work. Or they're not getting the results they want. They've got all this information, this superior knowledge, yet they're getting inferior results. And then they wonder why, and they get frustrated and confused. It's not what you know. It's the information that you take and internalize, emotionalize, and start acting on, in integrating with your behavior. That is what takes form. And it's important that we get this lodged into our subconscious mind. You see, teachers are not there to just pass on information. I believe it's the job of the teacher to get you emotionally involved in what you're learning, to personalize it. Now, everything I'm sharing with you, I want you to personalize. I want you to emotionalize. I want you to think about your life. Just close your eyes for 2 seconds. Just close your eyes, get really relaxed. Take a deep breath in. Just let everything hang out. Let your shoulders drop, your stomach relax. Let yourself sink into the seat or bed or wherever you're sitting. I want you to bring onto the screen of your mind that goal that you set for yourself throughout this series, the life that you really want to live. See yourself in the perfection that you really want to be. Now, it's not forcing this. You're just allowing the image to come up. Just see yourself with all the good that you desire. See yourself as being the source, and how everything ripples out from you. And you begin creating through the use of your imagination all these beautiful experiences that you want to have. And just allow yourself to get emotionally involved in this. Just really see yourself from that point of view, coming from the goal. You're not trying to get to the goal, you're coming from the goal. You're already there. In fact, you've been living this phenomenal life for 3 months now, 6 months now. This is normal for you to live this new and improved life of yours. It's everything you've ever hoped for, everything you've ever dreamed of. You're living now. Just totally relax. Let that sink into your subconscious mind. And remember that as you do this, your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It accepts everything you give to it. It's totally deductive. It's like the earth. Whatever you plant in your subconscious mind, it's going to grow. Earl Nightingale said that you could plant corn, a sweet food, and nightshade, a deadly poison, not 2 inches away, and both will grow with just as much of an abundance. What thought seeds are you planting? You see, every physical thing that you have in your life, experiences and items and people, first started as a thought seed. And you gave energy to it, and it grew, and it blossomed, and it turned into the conditions and circumstances and the results of your life. And so if you can do that, if it works in the negative flow of things, then it sure as hell works in the opposite flow of it as well. You just got to give some energy to it. You got to let go of the past. You got to let go of that negative thinking and step into creative thinking. You can do it. You just got to start to really believe in yourself. Now you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And this is where we've got to begin to shut off the sensory factors. These are like little antennae that are plugged into the top of your conscious mind, your intellectual mind. Right? These are all hooked up into the intellectual mind. But over here as well, in this intellectual mind, you have things like perception, the will, imagination, memory, intuition, and reason. These mental tools of yours that no one ever taught you about. They were totally shut off, right? Now, it's what you take and build in that intellectual mind that you impress upon the emotional mind that begins taking form. It's this part of the mind that we want to reach. Your emotional mind is the creator of your life, not the intellectual mind. You build the images in your intellectual mind. It's your workshop. It's your place of selection for thoughts. But it's through the use of your mental faculties over here that you get emotionally involved in things. You see, your perception allows you to see things in a different light, to take a new point of view. Your will allows you to focus and hold the image of what it is that you truly desire on the screen of your mind. Memory allows you to go back into the past and, remember how things didn't work so that we don't repeat it again today. But it also allows you, and many people don't understand this, is that you can create future memories. Create a future memory. Intuition. Intuition is a mental faculty that you have to translate vibration into knowing and feeling. You can pick up all kinds of things. Many of us think that we're, closed off and that we can think whatever we want in here and it doesn't show up out there. Well, we're like open books. And if you really tune in with your intuition, you'll pick up thoughts. My wife and I pick up each other's thoughts all the time. I'll be thinking something and she'll say it. I'll say, what a coincidence. Well, it's not really a coincidence. We're just tuned in. We're tuned in. And the best way to develop the intuition to pick up on things like that is to just focus on other people. Ask them questions. Take all your conscious attention to bear on them and their interests. You become very intuitive. Forget about yourself. Right? And reason. Reason is your ability to think, to take this creative power that flows to and through you and build images, get emotionally involved with them, and move them into form. We're the only form of life that can do this. Your dog or your pet, they run on instinct. And we had instinct removed and these higher mental faculties put in its place, our intellectual faculties, so that you can literally create your own environment. Now, of course, all of these got shut off. School never taught us how to do these. We've never developed them. These are mental muscles that must be strengthened. And like any other muscle in the body, if you don't use it, you lose it. It atrophies. And so it's not that a person doesn't have an imagination. People say, well, I can't really visualize. No, you can. It's just not strengthened. People say I have such a really bad memory. There's no such thing as a bad memory. There's only weak memories and strong memories. People say I can't focus. No, that's not true. You can focus. You just haven't strengthened that mental muscle. Here's an exercise for you. Take a little dot and put it on the wall opposite of maybe your favorite chair, or a candle flame, and sit and stare at that candle flame. And if your mind wanders, bring it right back. Become one with the candle flame, become one with the dot. You see, as you learn to focus on one thing, you can concentrate and focus on anything. And the more that you can focus and concentrate on your goal and on the image that you want to have manifest, the more energy you're giving to it. The more that image is flashing on the screen of your mind, the more you're thinking about it, the more power you're giving to the life that you want to live. And the more that starts to manifest, the more proof that you get in your life that this is moving into form. You got to hold that image in your mind. But we don't. We shut them off. And we get so plugged in to our sensory factors. Would you look at this? Would you hear this? Did you hear what they were saying? None of that matters. Shut down the sensory factors and start living from those mental faculties. Start living from imagination. You see, Albert Einstein said the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. He says, we have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. He's talking about these mental faculties of yours. Your intuitive mind is a sacred gift. That's where you create, and then you program this rational mind, this conscious mind, to just become a faithful servant, to just continue to do what it is that you need to do. You can literally program yourself. You recondition the mind and you alter the paradigm by utilizing these mental faculties, but you must strengthen them. Now, we run people through a program that teaches them how to strengthen these mental faculties. Step by step, exercises and experiences to really bring these to the surface. Now, your vitality in life, Dr. John Demartini said, is directly proportional to the vividness of your vision. Do you want to feel better in your life? Do you want to have more energy? Develop a larger vision. You see, you don't get energy. I've heard people come to me before and say, man, I wish I had more energy. I want to get more energy. And if you really understand who you are, you realize that all you are is energy. You're an expression of an infinite power of energy. You hear so many people say, I don't have any energy. I'm so tired. Well, they really don't have a vivid image. They don't have a vivid vision for their life. They're not going after something that they really want that's in harmony with their highest values. Energy is expressed. It's not something you get. You already have it all. And desire is the triggering mechanism for energy. You got to go after something you really want. Your authentic, unique self. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It matters what you're doing. It matters what you want to bring forward. This is your opportunity to express your uniqueness. It's calling to you. It always is. Try to bring more of that perfection to the surface. And you're going to find that the vitality in your life improves as you get a vivid vision for how you want to operate in your world. And everything begins to change. Sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and start to write out a description of the life that you really want to live. And then keep that with you. Keep reading it over, just like the actor would as they write a script. The actor reads the script, they memorize the script, they become the script, right? And then it's action. The cameras are recording and we see them on the movie and we get so emotionally involved with what they're doing because they've become the script. They're so emotionally involved with that character. Jim Carrey is a great example of this. I love watching Jim Carrey in all his movies because he's so animated. He's so in the role, right? When he becomes a character, he is that character. And we can apply that same technique to our own lives as we upgrade our self-image, as we upgrade our life and elevate. Read the script, memorize the script, become the script, become the star of your movie. And so let's pay very close attention to this. This is absolutely crucial. Bring all your attention on this right now. Circumstance. Here we are with circumstance, and we have our mind, our sensory factors, and a person will take and activate one of those sensory factors of sight, and they'll look down upon their circumstances. This is how most people operate in their world. They look at their bank account. They look at the resources they have. And they say, I don't have what I need to live the life I want. And what happens is that the conscious mind then is filled with the image of the present results. You've got an unlimited source of power flowing to and through you to build any image you want. And a person shuts that off and they look at their results and say, I don't have what I need. The economy is bad. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. That person said I can't do it. We get so involved in all these false beliefs and spend all our time building images of our current results. The more you study this, the more you realize that your circumstance is a manifestation of your past thinking. It's just manifest now. And what you're looking at, you're literally looking at the past when you look at your present results. So why would anybody let their past thinking determine how they're going to move forward in life? Well, because we're ignorant to the fact that we have this creative power flowing through to and through us. We can build any image we want. We don't realize that we don't have to live from the outside in, that we can live from the inside out. And so this image that we hold then on the screen of our mind from the present results and the circumstance, we start to get emotionally involved with it, and we start repeating it over and over again in our mind, and the subconscious mind accepts the image of the present results. And it's in harmony with the paradigm. It's just the way we've always done things. And you hear that lots with people as they would really love to step out and do something they would love. Start the business or go and travel or, make a big impact in the world. And maybe they share it or they get, into their mind, somebody else tells them and they just say, well, that's just not the way we do things. Well, they say, well, why? Well, this is just the way we've always done it. Break out of that cycle. Break out of the cycle of letting your thoughts control the way you feel and your present results control the way you think. And start operating from the inside. So the subconscious mind accepts the image and it produces the actions that are in harmony with that. You just move into action and what happens? You create the same results. You create the same circumstances and you're stuck in this cycle of struggle, never seeming to be able to get out of it. And so what does a person need to do? Well, what we need to understand, we have these sensory factors. We look down on the circumstances, and a person then uses their memory, one of their higher mental faculties, to go back in the memory and recall negative experiences. They go, well, this is the way it's always been. I guess that's just the way my life is. And we just submit to how things have always been through the use of our memory. But we've got all these mental faculties: perception, will, imagination, intuition, and reason. And we can take the mental faculty of, let's say, imagination, and we can start to build an image of what we want. You've got a power that's flowing to and through you that just is. It's neither positive or negative. It's just a neutral, unlimited power. And it has no form. Let's understand this. This power has no form whatsoever. It is a formless substance. And just like water is a formless substance until I pour it into a glass like this. And then it takes the form of the glass. And if I were to pour it into a different glass, like a bigger one, it would take the form of that. And if I were to dump this through a straw, it would take the form of the straw. Well, your mind works in pretty much the exact same way. You've got a formless substance flowing to and through you. And through the use of your imagination, you give it form. You build the model and the container through which this power flows through. And you literally build the blueprint for how your life is going to be through the use of your imagination. And you start to build a want. You start to build the image of what you really want in your life. And you start to focus on it. You start to give it attention. You start to hold it on the screen of your mind with the will. You see, the imagination and the will should be used together. The imagination to build the image and the will to hold the image. And that allows you to stay on the frequency frequently of the reality that you want. You see, you can't just think these things once and then they manifest. You've got to get emotionally involved with them. You've got to keep going over and over and over these things and keep it on the screen of your mind. That's why I suggest people take and have a goal card. Because they write the goal down, they write the reality that they want down on the card. And then every time they touch the card, the image of what they want starts to come on the screen. They're using what we call auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion is the medium through which you communicate from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. And as you do that, you plant that want in your heart. That's what's got to take place. You've got to plant the want inside your heart. Now, not your physical heart, but your subconscious mind, which the ancient Greeks refer to as the heart of hearts. This emotional side of you, the emotional conception of who you are. You got to begin associating yourself with the want, including it as part of your identity. I am abundant. I am successful. I am health. I am confident. It's part of who you are. And you know what that starts to build? It starts to build a desire. Desire starts to build inside of you. And desire is the triggering mechanism for energy. And you start to shift in vibration. You start to feel phenomenal because you're going after what you want. You're living authentically. You're living from the inside out. Your image must manifest in circumstance. Andrew Carnegie was quoted saying that any idea that is held in the mind that's either feared or revered will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and available form. The image must manifest in circumstance. You will attract whatever you need when you need it. And you've got to believe that all thoughts move into form. All thoughts have a gestation period. We have a law of gestation. You know, we know it takes roughly 9 months for a baby to be born, roughly, I think, about 90 days for a carrot to grow. And so there's a gestation period for the idea that you have, for the want that you have, for the goal that you have. But nobody knows the gestation period of ideas. But what we do know is that all ideas move into form. And if you give it the proper nutrients and the proper attention and watering, it must manifest. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And you've got to be persistent with that. You can't give up. And if it's something you really want, you won't give up. This is why you've got to be going after things that are highest on your values list. Because if you set a goal that is based upon somebody else's value, you're going to give up at the first roadblock. At the first hurdle, you're done. You say, I don't want to go through this anymore. I'm done. It's just not working. Of course, the universe says, then, you know, your wish is my command. You say it's not working, it's not going to work. Person might say, well, I don't really believe in all of this stuff. Okay. If that's what you choose, that's what you'll experience. Your thoughts become things. Your thoughts create your reality. Your belief becomes fact. And so if you choose not to believe in this, then you've got to know it's not going to work for you. You've got to really believe in this. You've got to associate yourself with this. You've got to study this. And just like anything, the more you study, the more you're going to understand. And the more you understand, the more faith you're going to have in it, the more faith you're going to have in yourself. But you've got to be going after something you really want, that is in harmony with you and your authentic version of you. And that image must manifest. I guarantee you it must manifest in your life. But of course, if we stay with the same old thinking, we're going to produce the same old results. It's just a cycle. Break out of the box that you're currently in. Employ new thinking. You're going to start to recondition your mind. It's going to feel a little bit clunky and awkward at first. But the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, the more natural it becomes. And you're going to reach a certain point where you start to look back on your life, and the way that you thought, the way that you operated will seem so foreign to you, because you literally changed your paradigm. You've changed your habitual way of thinking, and your results are going to start to change right before your eyes, because we become what we think about. Now, the problem is that so many of us have become hypnotized by false beliefs. We have truly become hypnotized. There's a great section in Psycho-Cybernetics, one of the most phenomenal books on self-image psychology that you'll ever come across. And there's a section on there on dehypnotizing yourself from false beliefs. And Dr. Maxwell Maltz says here that the important thing for you to remember is that it does not matter in the least how you got the idea or where it came from. You may be operating with ideas that do not serve you, and it doesn't matter where it came from. People spend so much time focusing on how this belief came to be and, their childhood and all this kind of stuff. And we get so wrapped up in the belief that we just keep focusing on it and it keeps manifesting in our life. He says, it doesn't matter in the least how you got the idea or where it came from. Now, he says, you may never have met a professional hypnotist. You may have never been formally hypnotized. But he says, if you have accepted an idea from yourself, from your teachers, your parents, friends, advertisements, from any other source, and further, he says, if you are firmly convinced that the idea is true, then it has the same power over you as the hypnotist's words have over the hypnotized subject. You see, so many of us have been hypnotized to believe in things that simply aren't true, but yet we believed them to be true in the moment when we heard it. And so we've got to go through a process of dehypnotizing ourselves from false beliefs. And I was thinking about this one day and kind of how we go about doing this. And you have to think, well, how was a person hypnotized in the first place? How was a person made to believe things? How was their paradigm planted in their mind at the early age? Well, it was through repetition. It was through continually getting involved in ideas. And so the way that we change it is exactly the same way. You've got to begin to dehypnotize yourself from false beliefs by getting involved in new beliefs. It's not through sheer willpower, it's by accepting new ideas. And so I broke it down into, I believe, about 5 steps here on how you can dehypnotize yourself. So you'll want to write these down or even take a screenshot of this and save it for later. And first of all, we've got to begin thinking of our desire. You come from the goal. Think of your desire right now. What is it that you really want? That goal, that C-type goal that you've set for yourself, the life that you really want to live. And really get emotionally involved with this right now. And then next, I want you to notice the limiting belief that pops up. Because if you've set a goal that is beyond your current belief system, like you should, because that's creating, you're going to grow with that kind of goal, you're going to come up against some limiting beliefs. Now, you're never going to go beyond where you believe you can go. And so we've got to begin to notice what limiting beliefs pop up. They could be things like, I'm not good enough. I don't have enough money. I'm not smart enough. The economy is bad. I don't have enough value. I don't have enough education. All these things of lack and limitation. Just notice it right now. Notice what pops up for you as you think of that desire. And next becomes a really powerful question. And you got to be real honest with yourself on this. Is, do I have good, sound reason for this belief? Like, is it 100% true that I am not good enough? Is it 100% true that I don't have the money? Chances are it's not even close to 100% true. It's just a belief in your mind. Begin to poke holes in your belief systems. Since belief is the key to manifesting the image, then of course we ask ourselves, well, how does a person believe? Because this is so important. And, you know, both science and theology, you look into any kind of the books there, they both tell us that you got to believe. You got to believe in something, right? I suggest that you believe in the power of your mind. I suggest you believe in your connection to this creative force that permeates our universe. Believe in yourself. Risk believing in you. I tell you, you'll never go wrong believing in you. We place so much belief in everything else, but very rarely do we place true belief in ourselves. And so do I have good sound reason for this limiting belief of mine that says, I can't do this, I'm not good enough? You see, frequently when we reevaluate our belief systems, the things we believe begin to change because we're reevaluating it or poking holes in the belief system. And then you ask yourself, well, what would I like to believe? You think of your desire and you say, what do I need to believe in order to create that? I'd love to have more abundance and prosperity in my life, maybe. I'd love to have better health. I'd love to have that home that I've always dreamed of. I'd love to live in a place of confidence and serenity, calmness and ease. What do I need to believe about myself? What do I need to include as part of my self-image? You see, you're starting here to dehypnotize yourself. You're starting to poke holes in the belief system, in the ideas that were fixed in your mind, possibly not even from yourself, from other people that you accepted. So you build the image of what you would like to believe, that I have value, that I am good enough, that I can learn. But if I don't have the resources right now, that through the working powers of my subconscious mind, I will attract them. Now that's something worth believing in. That feels good. And you see, frequency and vibration and feeling is everything. You then have to auto-suggest the new idea. You've got to get it lodged in your mind. You have to keep repeating it over and over again. This is how the limiting belief was planted in your mind, was through auto-suggestion. You kept hearing it around in your environment. We are truly products of our environment. We're programmed genetically at the moment of conception, and the thinking for many of the things is already there. It's just passed down through the genes. And then we're born, we make our great debut on planet Earth. And then we start being programmed by our outside world, by the people we're surrounded with, by the experiences that we've had. And those ideas get lodged in the mind through repetition. And then we develop the conscious mind and we start thinking for ourselves. But we really actually don't start thinking for ourselves. We think from the paradigm. We think from our conditioning because no one's ever taught us to think. Mental activity does not constitute thinking. What you're doing here is a process of really thinking and altering that deep-rooted conditioning. And so you begin auto-suggesting the new idea. You see, suggestion is the most powerful force in the universe. Suggestion, a simple suggestion. Just keep suggesting to yourself great ideas. You may not believe it in the beginning, and that's okay. But we know that if a person tells themselves a lie long enough, they'll believe the lie. When I sat down with a pen and a piece of paper and I wrote out that I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a confident, calm, serene individual, I didn't believe a word of it. In fact, I looked in the mirror and I said, "You're a damn liar." But you know, the more I kept saying it, the more I kept reading it and looking at myself in the mirror as I said this new thing, and I auto-suggested the new idea. It was like a turning point. Something happened within me that I just started to develop a sense of belief in it, going, you know what? I believe, like I think this could happen. Now I was studying the information at the same time. I was reading books. I was getting involved in, with my mentors, learning from my mentor, Bob Proctor, my other mentors. And I was surrounding myself with this information to influence me by it. And I thought, I think this might happen. And as I kept saying it, I kept auto-suggesting the new idea. Well, I reached a certain point where I knew it would happen. Now, my results were still contrary to the idea I was working with. My results still suggested that it wasn't going to happen. I was still passing out. I was still incredibly anxious. I still really did not like myself. But there was something different that started to take place in my mind where I thought, this is going to happen. I am going to become. And then something flipped and it was like, no, wait a second. I am confident. I am calm. I am the person that I know I am, that I want to be. And it was like a light switch went on and everything started to change. And I stepped into the role. I became the star of my own movie, right? And then as you go to think of your desire, now you've got a belief system that is in harmony with that. You see, your positive thinking doesn't work unless it's in harmony with your self-image. If your self-image is not in harmony with the reality that you want to experience, then no amount of positive thinking is going to change it, because the self-image will just filter out the positive thoughts and you won't believe it. And so this is a process you go through to dehypnotize yourself from those false beliefs of yourself so that your mind can accept new ideas. All progress is made through the accepting of new ideas, from breaking out of the box. And so now you think of your desire and now it's in harmony with it. It's in harmony with your self-image and you believe that it's going to take place. You believe that you can attract the abundance for that new home. You believe that you can go on the trip that you want to go on. You believe that you can start and build a successful business, whatever it is that you want to do. That's when things begin to change. It's think, believe, do. Take a picture of this, incorporate this into your life, or reach out to me and ask, how can you bring this in more? Or reach out to me and we'll work through a desire of yours. And we'll go through a process. I'll help you uncover those limiting beliefs. And I'll give you tools and techniques to start auto-suggesting new ideas. You and I work together. If you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. Because it all happens the same way. It all happens by law. You just got to make the decision to do it. So reach out to me today and let me know what it is that you want to work on. Let me know what it is that you want to create in your life. Now, J.B. Ryan probably did more study in the mind than anybody alive. And he was absolutely convinced that the mind is the greatest power in all of creation. And you've got one. Remember, you've got one free and clear. This sacred gift, like Albert Einstein was talking about. And the more you begin to learn about yourself, the more you can exercise this great power that lies within you. And so as we bring this day in for a close here, I want to end off with Dr. John DeMartini's quote. He says, "The true you has a profound purpose to offer the world. The true you does not play small. The true you is brilliant beyond compare. The true you knows within your heart what your most meaningful purpose is." See, I want you to know that you've got something really special locked up within you. You've got something so incredible to share with the world, to share with the others in your lives. Make a decision you're going to bring more of that to the surface. You don't need to change. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to focus on bringing more of your perfection to the surface. It's already there. You're all powerful, all knowing, ever present. And you've got a marvelous mind and mental faculties that you can use to bring that perfection to the surface. You've got a profound purpose to offer. You are loaded and coated with perfection and with something magnificent to bring to the world. And my hope is that through these lessons, you start to believe it like I started to believe it a handful of years ago, when I was in a place where I didn't believe I could change. I didn't believe that I would be where I am today, that I would have a sense of purpose and confidence in self like I do have today. That was not in the cards for me. At least I thought. There's many things that you don't think you can do. And I promise, as you get involved in this information, you're going to tear and bust right through that belief. And you're going to just fly right past it. And you're going to wonder where that confidence was all your life. You're going to wonder where all this potential was all your life. And you'll come to the firm realization that it was always there. What was lacking was your awareness of it. What was lacking was your decision to bring it to the surface. Make a decision today, right now, that you're going to bring more of you to the surface and improve everything in your life. Reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. I'd love to get to know you. We've got a handful of people in this group here. Some I know, some I don't. And I'd love to get to know you more. I want to hear your story. I want to hear where you've come from. Some of your struggles, challenges. I love working with people and I love helping people. And so if you're seeking some guidance, some support, reach out. One of the best things you can do is ask for help. Don't think that you need to do this all on your own. You know, it's a funny thing because you have to do it on your own, but you don't have to do it by yourself. You need other people. Everything you desire is going to come from other people. Surround yourself with the dreamers and the achievers and the positive thinkers. We become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And I promise you, you spend a little bit more time with me, and I may just brainwash you into believing in yourself. I know my mentor did that for me. They really didn't believe in me. So reach out. I'd love to get to know you. Now, here's your call to elevate. Every day, I'm offering you a chance to apply this in your life. You see, no amount of reading or memorizing this information is going to create the change. It's the understanding and application of this wise thought that counts. So every day, make up your mind that you're going to apply this in some way. So here's your call to elevate. Number 1, I want you to take time to draw and create visuals of the life that you truly want to live. Go back to when you were in kindergarten and get out a set of pencil crayons and start drawing and creating visuals of the abundance you want, of the relationships you want, of the health that you want. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And then spend 10 minutes each morning in a place of creative visualization. See yourself in imagination living this new life. It's exercises like this that seem simple, but the more you do it, the more you condition yourself to relax, the more you condition yourself to really build those images and to develop the belief in yourself that you can actually manifest these images in your life. We're all creating images of some kind. It's up to us to determine what images we want to create. So that's your call to elevate today. Now, I want to thank you for joining in on this and really committing to yourself. If you've been following through on all of these days, give yourself a huge pat on the back because it's your decision to invest in this, the time that is really going to pay off here, right? But you must apply it. You must apply these principles in your life. Otherwise, they just don't work. They just don't work. So tomorrow, we're going to bring all of this in for a landing as we end up on day 5. And we're going to dive into the power of making a decision. I've talked a lot about making the decision. Make a decision today. Well, how exactly do you make a decision, right? Because nothing happens until you make the decision. And when you make the decision, you will literally flip your brain and your mind onto a higher level of frequency, and you'll attract whatever you need for the manifestation of the image you're working with. Decision will change your life. And so tune in tomorrow as we dive into our final day of the Elevate series. And I look forward to hearing from you if you'd like to reach out, and I look forward to seeing you on our next call. Take care, everyone.